represent national values, and drive social change across communities. Now, there's something that some of you are quite familiar with in terms of holistic high-performance systems, that high-performance systems must support athletes holistically, addressing physical, mental, educational, and social needs throughout their careers. Previous presenters also touched on this. There is something referred to as the athlete pathway continuum, which at times we call it as YEL, Youth, Foundation, Elite, Excellence, and Legacy. That is what it all leads to. Now, looking at the strategic framework on building sustainable athlete pathways, there are several factors that we consider in this area. The first one is talent identification and development, where systematic accounting and nurturing of athlete potential from grassroots levels, ensuring no talent goes undiscovered across diverse communities. So this is what, obviously, at foundation stage, as you start your sporting careers, and this is where we then undergo talent identification. The aspect that I touched on previously in terms of long-term athlete development, the LTAD, is basically a system whereby now you look at moving from stage 1 right up to the end in terms of developing an athlete. There is aspects as well which have to do with competition exposure, that as athletes here, you all come from various countries. At national level, in your various countries, you compete against other athletes as well. But equally, at the same time as you compete at national level, it's very important to also go internationally and have international exposure in terms of competition. When we talk about multi-sports competition, the Olympics, the Commonwealth, the African Games and the likes, those are critical for you to ensure that you've got international exposure when you're competing at that level. And then we've got athlete monitoring systems, where data-driven tracking of athlete health, performance matrix, and development progress to optimize training and prevent burnout. I think the previous speaker was talking about issues of burnout as well, that as athletes, ensuring that you compete, you train in your various fields, we need to ensure that we have systems in place that will prevent burnout. There is quality coaching systems where professional coach education and certification programs that elevate teaching standards and athlete outcomes across all sports. And then finally, we have scientific support services, where we refer to as access to sports science, medicine, nutrition, and psychology services that enhance performance and safeguard athlete well-being. So just moving on now to the holistic development, the human side of performance, beyond competition on athlete welfare. So there's several factors here, where one, there's the issue of mental health support, two, there's psychological support, psychosocial support, and then three, we've got life skills development. Four, we've got education and dual careers, and then finally, there is safeguarding. I think a key core principle here is that athletes are human beings before they are competitors. Understanding that is very important. Sustainable, high-performance sport requires addressing the whole person: physical, mental, emotional, and social needs. Now, we move to the next aspect of athletes as leaders and change makers. So here, several aspects as well come into play. On the coaching side, former athletes transitioning into coaching roles. So these are some of the things that you can look forward to beyond the finish line. Life after the life as an athlete. So secondly, there is the issue of administrators, athletes moving into sports governance and management, providing athlete-centric leadership within federations, committees, and organizations. So that is the journey and that is the path that I also undertook. So being a tennis player, representing the country at the highest level in tennis, so I started transitioning. From there, I got into coaching. From coaching, I got into administration, where I also eventually became the president of the Tennis Association in my country. And then moving from a single sport of tennis, I then transited into national multi-sport, where I'm now the CEO of the Olympic Committee in the country. So it's all about growth, making sure you go through every step of the way and progressing in life. There's also the area of entrepreneurship, where athletes can look forward to launching businesses, sports academies, and social enterprises that create economic opportunities and drive innovation in the sports sector. We've seen a lot of that happening as well. Our first speaker was referring to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan now is a retired athlete, sportsman in the world, because he's currently now worth over $3 billion US, all coming from this area now of business and entrepreneurship. Mentors, social advocates, that is what you can look forward to becoming as well, and community leaders, where athletes can become pillars in their communities, leading social, local development initiatives, youth programs, and community building efforts. Now, just zeroing down now into the Olympic movement or the Olympic Committee where we come from. So from the IOC side, we've got something called Olympic Solidarity, which is an arm of the IOC that is responsible for assisting national Olympic committees throughout the world. So supporting athletes beyond the finish line, there's several programs that we run within the Olympic movement, which we offer to assist athletes beyond the finish line. We've got athlete scholarships, which are there, and I really want to implore all of you here coming from various countries, approach your national Olympic committees, find out from the NOCs what programs they have to assist you. So these are all the programs. Scholarships, we've got youth athlete development programs. We've got something called the Continental Athlete Grant, which some of you may be quite familiar with. We've got coaches education programs, where you are now transitioning from being an athlete. If you want to get into the area of coaching, we've got coaches education programs. We've got women in sport programs. We also have a program on refugee athlete support and safe sport and safeguarding. And then finally, we've got something referred to as the NOC capacity building initiatives. I am here attending this event as Secretary General of ANOCA Zone 6. Now, ANOCA Zone 6 is an Olympic movement structure within the region. So we work very, very closely with AUSC Region 5. We actually have a cooperation agreement between the two institutions where we try and strengthen and optimize on the opportunities really that are there in the region to ensure that there is effective sports development. So regional platforms and opportunities that are currently available. The first one is regional games, where we have multi-sports competition platforms. As we are all aware that once again this year we are preparing for the Region 5 Youth Games that are going to be held in Mozambique, Maputo. So we also have technical development, which includes skills training and workshops that we undertake continuously for empowerment. We've got Youth Olympic preparation, so pathways to Youth Olympic Games. Who can tell me where the Youth Olympic Games are going to be held? the next Youth Olympic Games. Yes, Sip. Senegal Dakar 2026. So we've got the next Youth Olympic Games that are going to be held in Senegal. They're happening in Africa for the first time. So these are going to be taking place at the end of October this year in Dakar. Then we've got athlete exposure to international competition access. I alluded to this earlier on, the importance of ensuring that there is exposure internationally. Then we have capacity building, administrative and coaching education, and then finally leadership development for future sports administrators. So just down there on cross-border collaboration is that regional solidarity strengthens African sporting excellence through shared resources, knowledge exchange, and collective advocacy on the global stage. So just as I'm about to wind up, is that here I've actually just jotted down on the development of ecosystems, sport as a tool for development and sustainable ecosystems. So sport contributes to lots of aspects that we have in society and life in general. So sport contributes to youth empowerment, for instance, in the form of building confidence and leadership. As you are here, sport contributes to health promotion through physical and mental well-being. Sport contributes to gender equality, where we always advocate for gender equity and equality within all the sporting opportunities that are there. Then there's economic opportunities through jobs, tourism, you know, this aspect of sports tourism and infrastructure as well. So as we go to particular countries that are going to be hosting some of these games, this is what sparks or triggers our national governments to develop infrastructure at times. So in a way, just ensuring that the whole country is developed. So we also have education, where sport contributes to education, it contributes to social inclusion, and finally sport is a very big contributor to peace and unity. Peace and unity, that is with regards to diplomacy and conflict resolution. So this is a quote from Nelson Mandela, whom we all know, where Nelson Mandela really said, sport has the power to change the world. Sport has the power to change the world. So my final slide, ladies and gentlemen, on Beyond the Finish Line is that once again, I just want to reiterate that medals are temporary. Impact is lasting. Impact is lasting. And that sport must create better athletes and better human beings. True success in sport is not only crossing the finish line, but the impact created beyond it. So with this said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all and end by saying that together, let us build sustainable sporting excellence in Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We have had a lot of information. I would like to ask the three presenters to come forward so that we could have some questions, if there are any questions from the team. And I would like to open the floor. Please, Mr. Simba, Mr. Muya, and Mr. Jele. The floor is open. Please feel free to ask questions. This is your platform. Nominees, coaches, journalists, athletes, this is your time. Please ask your questions. I'll open the floor to questioning. Please raise your hands. We will have the mic come to you if you have got any question or comment. Yes, there's a hand back there. One hand. Any other? Questions, comments? I will open the round. I'll only open one round because of time. So if you have a question, I see people are very hungry, but some are also very full because they came in very late. So, yes, please go ahead. Any question? Going once? Okay, I'll pass the mic around so that you don't, in my language they say, you don't go back home and burn your blankets. Which means you had so much you wanted to ask, but you're failing because, yes, please. First question, go ahead.
Yeah. No, mine is not a question, just a comment. Of course, just want to thank our three representatives. Those one, they try to educate us and to teach us. Because most of the time, especially the athletes, we used to attend the events, but we not really get these lessons. So now we understand where we came from and where we are going. So I'm really feel happy for their education. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. By the way, which category are you in? Please mention to us your category so that your competitors can start to shiver.
My category is Sportsman of the Year with a disability.
Sportman of the Year with Disability. Thank you so much. Well done. Any question? There's another hand behind there. It was a comment, but